Summary of Hayavadana by Girish Karnad.
The play starts with a puja to Ganesha, during which the Bhagavata asks Ganesha to bless the show that he and the other actors are about to put on. Then he puts the audience in Dharmpura, the setting of the play, and starts to talk about the main characters. The first is Devdatta, who is the son of a Brahman and is better than all of the kingdom's scholars and writers. The second is Kapila, who is the son of the blacksmith and is good at strong physical feats. They are the best of buddies. As the Bhagavata begins to tell the story, someone screams in fear off stage. An actor runs on stage yelling that he saw a monster with the head of a horse, the body of a man, and the voice of a person. The Bhagavata doesn't believe him, and when Hayavadana comes in, he thinks it's just a mask and tries to pull Hayavadana's head off. When the Bhagavata realizes it's his real head, he listens as Hayavadana tells him about his past. He is the son of a princess and a spiritual being in the form of a horse, and he wants to grow up and be a real man. The Bhagavata tells him to go to the temple of Kali because she helps people get what they want. Hayavadana goes to the temple in the hopes that Kali can change his head into a human head. After getting over the break, the Bhagavata goes back to the play. He starts to sing and tells the story of how the two heroes fell in love with a girl and forgot about themselves. In the background, a group of women are singing about what love is. Devdatta and Kapila enter. Devdatta says that he loves Padmini so much that he would give up his arms and his head to be with her. Kapila makes fun of Devdatta at first, but he changes his mind when he sees how much Padmini has changed his friend. He agrees to find out who she is and where she lives. Kapila goes to where Padmini lives and starts knocking on people's doors. Kapila falls in love with Padmini as soon as she opens the door to her house. Padmini asks him what he wants, which catches him off guard as he tries to explain why he is there. He finally tells her that he is there to try to get her to like him for Devdatta. Kapila thinks to himself that Padmini needs a man of steel and that Devdatta is too sensitive for someone as quick as Padmini. The Bhagavata says that Devdatta and Padmini got married right away and that they all stayed friends. 6 months later, Padmini is expecting a son, and the three friends are supposed to go on a trip to Ujjain together. Devdatta is jealous that Padmini seems to like Kapila, but Padmini says that's not true. She says she'll cancel the trip so they can spend more time together, but when Kapila shows up ready to leave, Padmini changes her mind and chooses to go, much to Devdatta's disappointment. Padmini says that Kapila is a good driver as the three of them travel together. She shows Kapila a tree with the flower of the fortunate lady, and he runs off to get flowers for her. Padmini thinks to herself how strong Kapila is, and Devdatta notices that Padmini is looking at him with lust. When they pass the temple of Rudra and Kali, Devdatta remembers his promise and sneaks away to cut off his head. Kapila goes to look for him, and when he finds Devdatta's body without his head, he feels sad. He also chooses to cut his head off. Padmini starts to worry about the two guys, so she goes to find them. When she sees their headless bodies on the ground, she tries to kill herself, too. The goddess Kali stops her and tells her that she will bring the men back to life as long as Padmini puts their heads back on their bodies. In her excitement, Padmini changes the two heads when she is putting them back on. The two men are brought back to life. One has the head of Devdatta and the body of Kapila, and the other has the head of Kapila and the body of Devdatta. At first, the mix-up makes them laugh, but when they try to go home, they find problems. Every man thinks Padmini is his wife. The head of Devdatta says that the head controls the body, so she must be his wife. Kapila's head says that he took her hand during the wedding ritual and that he is the father of the child she is having. Padmini is shocked, but she chooses to take the head of Devdatta. Kapila does not follow them back. Padmini and Devdatta are happy than they have ever been as the second act begins. She's happy about how strong he's become, and the two of them are getting ready for their baby. They buy their son two dolls. The dolls talk to the audience and tell them that Devdatta's strong new body starts to change back to its old shape over time. He and Padmini argue about how to treat their son because Padmini thinks Devdatta spoils him. The dolls tell the audience that Padmini starts to think about Kapila in her dreams. When the toys start to look worn, Padmini asks Devdatta to get her new ones. She then takes her son to the forest to show him what it looks like. Padmini finds Kapila living in the woods as she goes through them. He has gotten stronger again, while Devdatta has lost his. He talks about how he had to fight his body and how he has finally accepted that he is Kapila. Padmini makes it clear that she likes him, and she spends a few nights with him. Devdatta comes back with the toys and goes into the woods to try to find Padmini. He finds her with Kapila, and the two plan to kill each other to stop their heads and bodies from fighting. Padmini does sati by throwing herself on their funeral fire after they have killed each other. The Bhagavata says that Padmini was a good wife in her own way. Just as the audience thinks the play is over, a second character comes on stage and says that a horse was walking down the street while singing the national anthem. The first player comes in, too, and he's with a young boy. The boy is very quiet and doesn't laugh, cry, or talk. The child turns out to be Padmini's son. Hayavadana comes back at that point. He says he asked Kali to make him whole, but instead of making him a whole person, she made him a whole horse. Hayavadana's son starts to laugh at him, and they both start to sing. Hayavadana still wants to get rid of his human voice, so the boy tries to make him laugh. As Hayavadana laughs more and more, his laughter turns into a horse's neigh, and he becomes a full horse. The Bhagavata ends the story by praising Ganesha's kindness for making Hayavadana and the young boy's wishes come true. He says it's time to pray, and Padmini, Devdatta, and Kapila all thank the Lord for making sure the play was finished and went well.
About the author. Girish Karnad was raised in a Brahmin family and developed an interest in traveling theatre companies at a young age. He went to Karnataka Arts College and studied in math and statistics. He graduated in 1958. As a Rhodes Fellow, he went to Oxford to study philosophy, politics, and economics after he graduated. It was there that he wrote his first play, Yayati. After working for the Oxford University Press for 7 years, he started writing full-time for both theatre and movies. He has kept writing plays for the past 40 years, often using history and myths to talk about modern issues. In 1974, India's highest citizen prize, the Padma Shri, was given to him for his work in theatre. In 1992, the Indian government gave him another of its greatest awards, the Padma Bhushan, for his work in the arts. In 1999, he won India's Jnanpith Award.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.